I don't have many regrets, but I regret not understanding that I was enough when I was young. Like not understanding that like I was just I wasn't a mistake, like I was made perfectly, and I spent so much time thinking I was less than, so much time living a half life, because I do think that when you're in denial or closeted, you're not even living your full life.
Hello, everyone. This is Eric Keefe, editor-in-chief of The Quintessential Gentleman, and today we are talking to Mr. Jermelle Simon from the Upshaws. What's going on, my brother? How are you?
How you doing? I'm good. How do they say in the South? I'm blessed and highly favored. I'm cool.
As you should be, as you should be. I want to know, how do you feel? 7 seasons. Y'all locked down. A lot of series do not get that far. I just want to know, how do you feel in this moment?
um, I don't know. I go in and out of feelings. Like sometimes, like right before this call, I called my brothers and we were talking about it, and I was like, parts of it feels like the ending, like a funeral, like it's that sadness that you get for that final goodbye, and a part of it is me just feeling super grateful for the fact that I've been able to do a show for 5 years. Like I still can't really comprehend that. Wow, I was a part of a sitcom on Netflix for 5 years. So I go in and out of gratefulness and sadness about it, it ending, but also just excited for what's next. So it's just a ball of emotions, honestly.
I'm sure. I'm
It
sure.
depends on the day.
Depends on the day. It depends on what you open your phone to and
Truly.
what the world is, what's happening.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I want to go back to the first day you walked on set compared to your last day on set. What changed?
Everything. I was thinking about this the other day. I was thinking about how um, unfamiliar everything was when I first stepped on set. I I think seeing Mike, Wanda, Kim, all of them in the hallways, all like in their trailers, and trying to understand that I was a part of a show with them was hard. Like that was in the beginning. It was hard for me to just accept that. I don't know if it's a bit of imposter syndrome or whatever it was, but I just could not comprehend that. And I think I was like crippled with fear because I didn't. I think sitcom has this like special cadence and this thing that I would watch Kim do that I feel like I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I could like mimic that in a way. I mean, later on I realized like you don't mimic it, you find your own way to do it or whatever. But I was trying to soak in whatever I could from everyone, and that's how I was in the beginning. I just was very um, just intimidated. Honestly, overall, I was really intimidated. I Before that, I had done plays, but I hadn't done anything on that level. So it was just so many things coming to me at once. Opposed to the last day, I was like, "This is my show." No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Oh,
No, I just, I was, no, I was more confident in everything that I was doing. We didn't know each other in the beginning. By the last day of filming, we were such a family at that point. That it was like going to work with my mom, dad, aunt, brothers, and sisters. And I had I think that I had done so much inner work. Obviously I came out. So much of my life had changed by the end of the filming that I was more. I was wishing that I had more time to film the character in my freedom. You know what I mean? Like in the beginning, I was not only was I, it was unfamiliar, but I was also battling my own internal thing. And so by the end, I was free as a bird, and I wanted to be able to express the character in a bigger way. And I mean, I think I did what needed to be done, but I think those thoughts were kind of circulating. We're like, man, because I'm not worried about how I'm being perceived. I'm just, um, doing I'm making the choice that I think the character would make, and opposed to doing that and like, well, wait, how does this look? And how, just being robotic in that way. And that last season, I got a chance to just be free. So I haven't seen it. I'm interested in seeing how that translated on screen because I just didn't see myself in my fullness on screen yet. So
So you talk
yeah.
about, you've come out, kind of during this show. Was a part of that, the character that did that? Was that your own kind of lifestyle? You kind of had the moment where it's like, all right, this is just who I am. Was it in any
Yeah.
part of the character that kind of helped with that?
Yeah, it was a bit of both. It was and I said this other time, um I I feel like Bernard outgrew me after season one because season one was easier to film because we we both were closeted, so we kind of it felt like we were like struggling together.
Yeah.
And as the season progressed, he got more and more courage to be himself and like let go of more and more shame while Jermelle was still like, wait, hold up, I'm not ready to say, the words I'm gay yet. And he already said it 3 or 4 times. And I felt like I couldn't do the character justice while playing a like openly gay character while being closeted, a closeted actor. And it just I don't know, it was just competing thoughts, and it was just hard to really explore the character and like create. And so I think it was that, and it also was I was just exhausted from battling with the whole thing, like I'm a very I was just telling someone I now doing press for the show, I'm just afraid to overshare because I'm a transparent person. So like I naturally being transparent and trying to play, a character that is gay, but also trying to like guard and hide my sexuality and just life in general. I'm just not a like some people I think are naturally private. I'm just not a naturally private person, and I that's just what it is, And so it was just I was exhausted from playing a character, even in my real life, So it all came together. Then I was falling in love, and it was just so. I was like, no, I gotta release. But I'm about to implode.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's so interesting because your circumstance or your life experience is so different than I guess the normal because you'll have like straight characters who are playing a gay role and having to figure out how to
yeah,
in that space where you're a gay man trying to play a straight role and then gay. So it
yeah.
was very, very interesting, at least from your perspective. But I want to know what has the response been to Bernard's character?
Um, I mean, I think it's so many over the years. I think it's been a lot, but I think the one that hits me the most are like closeted men who don't have the courage yet to just be themselves, or it's not time yet for them, but they feel comfortable enough to DM me and say thank you for at least helping me to feel seen. I'm like one step closer. So I think those messages just helping men who are just not ready yet, because I know that feeling so well. Like I know, just like you're like right there and you just need that one little thing, and some people did come out, told me that they came out because of the show and because of my character, and they saw the scene with me and Kim, and it helped them to come out to their mom, or they saw the scene with me and Mike, and same with their dad. Because even in my own life, I think me, especially being in the ring with Mike and that scene, it helped me to say, all right, eventually, I wasn't ready yet, but eventually I would tell my dad. And eventually I did tell my dad, so um I love that it was representation, and it was hope for so many people, and I wasn't going in thinking that because again, like I wasn't out, so I didn't know what it was going to do. I was more afraid than anything. I just love acting more than I was afraid of the character, you know. So I had to do what I had to do. Um, but yeah, it's been that. Some people, no, it's all love. I was about to acknowledge things that I just don't even feel necessary. It has been a great response,
Yeah.
honestly. Though,
It's been very
overall, it has been a great response. Yeah. No, I will say, actually, I want to say, no, I think it's not necessarily negative. I have seen some things over the years of like, I love the Upshaws up until you know, the agenda happens, up until the gay agenda happens, and everyone doesn't need every show doesn't need a queer character, all of that. In the beginning, that kind of bothered me. And toward the end, I realized it at least sparks the conversation, you know, in a lot of households, especially a lot of Black households. And so even if it's started off uncomfortable, like, oh, why it has to be, you know, this whatever, you still like the show. You still have to finish it. You still have to watch it. And I think I would hope over time from season 1 to season 5 that you understand gay people a lot more. You know, you've seen Bernard's journey. You've humanized him. You realize that he is him, and you are you, and that's okay. So,
no, and I think for
so
me,
all positives.
I think for me, what I appreciated is that it Bernard was a character that was different than we've normally seen depicted as a gay man on TV, right? And especially a black gay man on TV.
Yeah,
So to be able to see that representation, I think it opened up a lot more conversations because now you know kind of into wait. He don't look gay as what people think, and now
yeah,
that's added a whole nother layer to
yeah,
conversations about people feeling a certain type of way. Look, now I don't know who is gay
yeah.
stuff. So it's really interesting.
I agree. I. I do think the whole look gay thing is like, well, what is gay supposed to look like? But I understand what people um, who are who are not educated on it. I understand where they're coming from, and I try to gently correct that language because I don't want it to be. I don't want it to be a negative thing. I don't want it to be like that being a feminine gay man is a bad thing, and being negative, and being masculine is more. Uh, is right, you know, or it's just unfortunately it's more socially accepted. But yeah, I think I went in. I did think that in the beginning. I thought me personally, I had never seen any gay character like myself, and so Bernard kind of was my own superhero. Um, but then as I even for myself, as I freed myself a lot more. I was like, I don't even know if I'm masculine or feminine or whatever. I'm just me, right? And so I kind of lost if it was, and not discrediting the role. I just kind of lost if it was different, you know, if it was depicted in a different way that we've never seen before, because that all came from if Bernard was, you know, masculine, and I was questioning like, wait, did I play it masculine or did I play it? I just kind of got lost in that because I think you free yourself from one thing, you free yourself from all things. So I'm not. I think I start priding myself on like, oh, you know, being masculine and macho or whatever. Which in hindsight I never was. But when I freed myself from that, I kind of lost how I played it. I'm just glad that it resonated.
Yeah. It's so funny. I always say to people, I'm, you know, gay black man. And when I was, you know, in the closet and all of that stuff, straight men would perceive me as a gay man. People would say, oh, you gay, whatever the case
Yeah.
may be. Then I go to the gay world and, oh, you straight to and I'm like, damn. Like, I can't, it's like, come on, you know?
It's,
So
yeah,
it's very, it's
it
a
just it's never so it's never enough.
it's never enough. And
Like
also, but I think
that's such a real thing.
I think there's a conversation there about just kind of the struggle. I'll say for me personally about identity, right? Because I work so hard at being like, man, I'm not gay, I'm not gay, I'm not gay. Then you go on to this side. Now I got to tell people,
Mm.
no, 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 I am gay. You got to tell women, no, I am gay, and things like that. So it's
Yeah,
a very interesting space.
that is such an interesting struggle because that I think it's like a silent struggle because you have to constantly. I feel like I have to come out every other day. Like I can go to a store and say like how whatever, like I'm married, and they'll immediately think that it's a woman, and or it's a wife. I have a wife, and I have to always say no, it's a husband, or when I was engaged, I was like, oh, my fiance would love these or whatever, and they would be like, oh, she's just such a lucky lady or whatever, and I would say no, well, no, it's not. you know, and that's a constant thing, and high key is a little exhausting because um I have to always say it, and I just make it known because I have lied to myself for so long. I every now and then I'll let it slip, but I most times I correct anybody that says your wife, or I, because I just feel like I've been quiet for too long with that. I've been like no, it is a man, and I am married to a man, and I have a husband, and I don't say it in an aggressive way because I understand, but I think for myself it's like I have to make sure that is clear. So yeah, I think that's a constant thing. You go buy flowers, they don't, they assume that it's for your wife, and it's a every single day you have to, nah, not even close.
It's interesting. You said earlier you talked about being free and those type of conversations, and I think everybody they come out when they want to come out and understand it. But one thing that you said, one thing I feel is like the freeing that it is for you to just walk as your most authentic self. Is to your point. It's like I wish I could do this thing 10 years ago, 20 years ago, because
Yeah,
I just don't have no cares, and I can really be myself as I walk through this world. And being a black
yeah,
man, we constantly are forced with all these different things that continue to either imposter syndrome, want to break us. We're not even going to talk about the systems in place that are not meant for
yeah.
us. So this whole being authentic to yourself, I applaud that. I always tell people just be yourself, and you will be so happy when you are.
No, I think that's the best. I don't have many regrets, but I regret not understanding that I was enough when I was young, like not understanding that, like I was just, I wasn't a mistake, like I was made perfectly, and I spent so much time thinking I was less than, so much time living a half life, because I do think that when you're in denial or closeted, you're not even living your full life. Like you don't really know, you're playing a character that is not you, and so it feels honestly like you're living half of your life, and that's my only regret, that and so now I can walk around and not be just so hyper focused on how I'm being perceived, and that all goes back to like this admiration or obsession with masculinity that I no longer have to subscribe to. Like it's just like, listen, I don't. I'm going to be me. I'm going to wear this. I'm going to wear that. Whatever it is, that's what I'm going to do. And I think that is. I don't know anything more freeing than that. But on the flip side of that, I so understand being closeted and coming out feeling like death. Like it feels like there's no way. Because if you'd have told me I would have been in this space 2 years ago, I said, I don't know if because that seemed so. It seemed like such a dark place, and then you get over here, and I'm not saying life is not life, but I would never choose that again. Like I would never. I'll choose anything before that. Before going back into the glass closet, as they say, because I said I came out, and then we go like, well, the closet was glass. Sure.
I wanna give you some. Make sure you have some grace though, because I want to say that where we are now to years ago, it has changed drastically, right? So I couldn't imagine operating how I am now, living like how I live now in those times 20 years ago. I said the jokes, people weren't politically correct, all that time. Like it was very hard for us, and I was
Yeah,
a little bit envious of the new generation. To be honest, I think they're going to be a little bit more fluid. They're going to have a
yeah,
boyfriend one day and a girlfriend the next day. Like
yeah. They're gonna have a great life.
a great life that we just
I
didn't
saw a couple.
need to
I
have.
saw a couple go to a same sex couple. Two young black boys go to prom together, and I was like, just the amount of liberation and freedom, and like, wow, you really can live your full life early. Like you really have your whole life ahead of you, and just like kudos to y'all because I couldn't imagine, and that sucks because you spend so much time reprogramming and unlearning that whole thing because you didn't get a chance to date like your homeboys dated in school. Like they really was 100% into the girls. Like they were like, and that's a different feeling when you like in my case was like I'm saying too much now. No, but no, I think I think it's different when you kind of like them, or you try to convince yourself, and then it's just and it's so fluid. So sometimes you're like, wait, I think I actually am in love, or I actually think I do like this, I do like her, and I do like that with her. So does that make me not gay? Does that like so just not having to go through that, like I can't imagine that. I really can't. Now I can because, but when I was younger, so
And I always say too, we also didn't have anyone to talk to. We didn't have a friend. We didn't have an older brother, a uncle, our parents. Like we were in these spaces alone, dealing with heavy shit. Excuse my language. That I can, you see when
yeah,
people, take their life, or not saying it's good or bad, but the mental anguish
yeah,
they're constantly going through,
yeah,
people will never understand what that feels like, and to truly be
truly.
alone.
Because I think that we were raised to be great husbands to wives, which is a completely different thing to being a great husband to a husband. Totally different life, and so there is no one to talk to about like I could like to this day I could talk to my dad about how what it's like to be good to a woman, like not he can't relate, same sex, and I do think that is unfortunate because like you said, we didn't have a manual. There was nobody that had. I sometimes think to this day I don't have anyone to really talk to. Like I don't really. I still somewhat feel isolated because I can't really. Even though I'm out and I am around a lot of people who are just like me, I still feel very isolated because I spent so much time not being able to relate or trying to fit in that it's almost unfamiliar that, oh, I actually fit in here. Oh, you're actually just like me. And I feel safe and I feel comfortable, but some parts of it still feel a little unfamiliar because I don't know. Because even now, I have a husband and I don't have I don't have any guy friend or like I don't have anyone who also has a husband, right? In it, I think the wording was messed up because I'm trying to say that we have couple friends, but they are always straight because um, we separately know gay couples, but we don't have any together because it's few and far between, and then I'm like, I want to call somebody and say, like my husband pissed me off so bad today. And like, what do you do when your husband pissed you off? And it's a guy, not I have girls I can do, but I don't have any guys, and, I, I think over time it'll happen and it'll work out to be what it's supposed to be. But I said all of that to say, I feel like I still feel at times I don't have, a lot of people to talk to about it
Yeah.
outside of OBO.
Yes, and honestly, you need that outlet, right? You need at least one or two friends that one understand where you're coming from, but then also provide you with advice that's not skewed, or they yes man, or they gonna call you on your shit, be like, all right, man, you know you messed up, you know what I mean? So it's definitely in the circle of people.
Yeah, and you need that accountability. Yeah,
No, for
I
sure.
do think I do feel like I have friends who maybe they're not married, but they still give me great like sound advice. I have a lot of gay men in my life who really sharpen me, and I really appreciate that. You know, because I think a lot of it is you don't have to be married to or in a relationship to give advice or to relate. Um, I feel like because marriage is just you just gotta be a good person. If you got a friend that's a good person that's helping you become a good person. If you're a good person, you can be a good partner. You know, so
No, for
I
sure.
do have that.
So I want to ask you about, you know, your father, Bernard, Hunter father. Whole another conversation. But I want to know, like, how or did being on the show impact you as a father? Did it make you a better father as it pertains to kind of how you
Um,
with your kids and such?
I think so. I think that like when I first got the show, I was very nervous to tell my kids that I was going to be playing a gay character on TV. So I waited to the very last minute, and I kind of like one on one told them, "Hey, look, I made it this super dramatic thing. I'm like, Daddy's going to be playing a gay character on TV, and you know this, that, and the third." And I was just like. Well, I thought I was like preparing them for it to be teased, and I wanted them to know what to do, all these things, and they all kind of looked at me like what are you talking about? Like it's not like it's just, there's gay people everywhere, you know. And I realized that their generation doesn't have the trauma that we have. They don't view um queerness in the way that we do, like at all, you know. I'm not saying that there's no homophobia, you know, in the younger generation, but it's just not the same. And my son, I didn't talk to him one on one because he was too young. But as he got older, he started asking questions about gay, the word gay, because he said when you said I'm gay to, he was saying the boxing ring. When I said I was gay to Benny on the show, he said, I cried because I thought it means that you were going to die. So he didn't understand what gay meant, but he meant like he could feel, well, it must be something negative because they're making it this big thing. And then he punched him and he said, I'm gay. And they cried, you know. So I was like, oh no. And I was explaining to him, you know, what gay was. And I think in those ways, it did help me to be a better father because I feel like I wanted, especially for my son, like I wanted to show my son whoever you want to date, whoever, like whatever it is you can do. You know, I think it's a bit different for. I'm gonna tread lightly when I say this because I don't want to minimize anyone's experience. But being a gay black woman and being a gay black man is a little different. And I really wanted my son to know, like, even if you did like a little boy, it was okay. It's okay for you to like a little boy. For my own self, if I'm being truly honest, it's like, who do I say that to him? Do I like am I setting him up for failure? Am I, because I'm not telling him to do anything. Because if my son came home and he said, I like this little girl, can I get her a box of chocolate for Valentine's Day? That would be okay. But I wanted to make sure it was okay for my son to say, I like this little boy at school. He hasn't said that, but I just wanted to make sure I like created the space for that. And I think that helped me to do that in so many ways, to help me to just be more open to different perspectives when my kids come to me about different things. Like my oldest is going to college, and her and her generation, or at least that's what she says, college was a scam. Like she's gonna go. She's like, I'm gonna go because you said that I have to go. And I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go because it's a scam. And I don't want to tell her like, oh no, that's super wrong. It's just like, no, I'm holding space for your experience because maybe I need someone to say that to me. Like I need to say like I like boys, and someone to say that's not wrong. That's your experience, and that's how you feel, and that's your truth. So I try to do that while saying you're going to college though, but I can see that you can feel like it's a scam because she's a singer, so she's like, why do I need it? I was like, for many reasons, you're going.
No, no,
So yeah.
I get it. No, that's amazing. Um, so, do you one? How do you feel about Bernard's Bernard's story being closed out this season and the finale? You know, you're in a lucky predicament to where the way you're able to say, all right, everybody knows that this is the end of the season, this is the end of the series, and all of that. How do you feel about the closing of the story for your character?
I feel like the writers did a great job. I think along the way, the writers did like what they could to make sure everyone had an arc and everyone's, in my case, like the B story, whatever I had was as gay as they could make it. I think it felt to me sometimes it felt like um when I wasn't ready to take on all the like, wait, no, it's too gay for me. When I wasn't ready for it, they was giving it to me, and then I felt like toward the end, it's like, no, this is not gay enough. Like, come on, like he make sure they know that he's gay. And even though it was, I just was so ready to like express it, that it was like, I don't care about the other family members' story. Let's just talk about Bernard being gay and wanting Hector. And but so I think that they closed it out well. I think that they closed it out where you want a spinoff, and I think that's the perfect way to close out the Upshaws. So I'm still fingers crossed for a spinoff. We got nominated for a GLAAD award, and so it's like all the hands watching at Netflix. That's the short. We need a spinoff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm great. I think they closed it out in a great way. We were fortunate enough to know that we weren't coming back, and I think so many shows, they don't know. You just fingers crossed, and then you get the call. It did or it didn't, and we knew for months, and so we had time to prepare. Even though it doesn't feel like, I don't know if you can have the time to prepare to close something off like that, but I am grateful for having that time.
Love that. I have to talk about, the fact, like you said, you're with Mike Epps, you're with beautiful Kim Fields, legendary Wanda Sykes. I want to know any gems or any advice or anything that either of them have given you that you like, yeah, that's always going to be with me.
Yeah. I mean, so much along the way. I think they've said many things to me, but I think um, what's bigger to me is watching them do what they say. So I think they all three have different styles of comedy, and Mike doesn't try to be funny like Wanda. Wanda doesn't try to be funny like Kim. Kim doesn't. Everyone stays in their lane and they perfect their own lane, and they just grow and get better and better in that. And I think that helped me find my place on the show, and to not be like Kylie, to not be like Diamond, to not be like Journey, to be like Bernard, be like Jermelle. And so I think that was the biggest takeaway I got, where like what you bring to the table is enough, but we cast you to be you. So yeah.
So, what's next? What you have going on? What do you look forward to?
you know, I I honestly don't know. I think that I think it's I think I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself to like, okay, the next thing has to be as impactful. It has to be this big thing. And I while some of that is true, I kind of want to release that and just explore. So I don't know what's next. There's some things in the pipeline, but it's a crazy business. It's up, it's down. Sometimes it's a green light, sometimes it's a stop sign. So right now I'm just open to whatever is next, and I don't know. I'm excited. I'm hopeful. It's a lot of personal things going on in my life. Great things. Like I just got married. I have kids. I some other things that I can't really say because I can't overshare, and it's killing me right now because but yeah. So I'm super busy with that. But yeah, we will see.
We will see.
That's all I can say at this moment. We will
All
see.
right.
but good things.
Amazing. And my last question, more of a kind of open ended, is: have you seen Heated Rivalry?
Yes, I have seen Heated Rivalry, and I just want to say right here, Heated Rivalry season two, the writers, the casting, listen, it's right here. Like that. So let me. I need something on the show. Like what's his name? They both are great, but the one that had the Russian accent, Connor. His name Connor. I forgot his name, but that is such I'm so inspired. And it's been a while since I've been inspired by just like an actor and like just really so zoned in on his work and how I can watch him on Heated Rivalry and then see a completely different person than how he was on like the Tonight Show or whatever. And I'm like, no, that's what it needs to look like. I need that. It's that or nothing, you know. I need to have that much of a difference. So that show did give me some inspiration. Like I was like, this is what I wanted. People ask me like, what's my dream role? And it's not necessarily my dream role, but I want something like that. I want something that beautiful. Like that finale was so from start to finish, it's like it was predictable. You knew that the mom would come along, but you didn't know how like what the dialogue was going to be. And they did their own special tweak to it. Like, well, it didn't sound redundant. It was just like I knew she would come along, but I didn't know how she was going to do it. And the way she did it was whatever. I knew he was going to get caught, but I didn't know how, how they were going to play it out. So I found myself just in expectation of how beautiful it was going to be, and it's been a long time since I've seen that. So yeah, to answer your question, yes, I've seen the rivalry. Um, yeah,
Yeah, no, I agree.
I got real passionate about it real fast.
Very passionate, but as you should. I think it's one of, I mean, it's a very very good story, right? And I think
Yes,
anybody who watches it can relate. As it pertains to loving
yeah,
someone and things like that, like it's just a beautiful story. And if you understand it, if you take away, whatever, issues you may have with same sex, whatever, you get rid of that and just look at the story itself. It's a beautiful story, but I think being a gay man and seeing that space, that tug of war, that back and forth, that being gay in a society that doesn't really, it's still, it is what it is. We're growing, we're evolving, all that type of stuff, but it's
yeah.
still, pain points. It was truly a beautiful story.
It was. Man, me and Obio watched the finale, and at the end, we just sat in silence for like 20 minutes because I think it was so much happening. Like you got triggered in moments, you felt seen in moments, you felt so much love in moments, you felt spicy in moments. It's like it was so many things all at once. And you just in awe, like how they captured the experience in the way that they did was like, man, I I I understand this struggle so much. I struggle with this for most of my life, so I understand you. Like you gotta do what you gotta do to not be seen. You can't like, bro, don't hug me in public. Don't like all those things. That comes back up, and you're like, dang. And for myself, I was like, dang, I made it out of that. Like how? That's the real prison. Like, jeez. Um, so yeah, and I need to go rewatch it like at this point because
my,
that's it
my
was so good.
my only criticism is, and it's fine, it's TV, we get it, but the way they were moving, you can't really move like that as popular as they were. Nah, it was no way.
Yeah,
I was like, nah, y'all a little bit too much to be acting like.
that's true. But you know what's crazy too, and this is my only this I don't know if it's a hot take or whatever, but I think that's also like we're viewing it from a gay black man experience. Like we for sure can't do that, but I think other races, I think that I still think they have their struggles, but they're not policed as much as we are police. It's like, wait, y'all both going to Texas? Why y'all both going to Texas? Y'all gonna start a charity? Why y'all both? I honestly feel like white men can do that. We is like, I don't know. So I think we at a very young age, we got to stand up straight. We can't cry. So we're very mindful of, hey bro, I want to go see the same movie as you, but I'm gonna sit down here and you sit up there. It ain't, we can't sit beside each other. That's dramatic, but I think that's kind of how it is. So I agree with you where we can't move in the way y'all move. So that part of it, again, like you said, it is TV. But that part of it I do understand. Where it's like, in this real black life, you couldn't do. The suffering is even more. I turned up two more notches. I
Yeah.
love the show. I want to be a part of the show. They did a beautiful job
Yeah.
with the people that they cast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm with you on turn it up, make the cage smaller, and then make it smaller than that. There you go.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Exactly. Perfect. Well, Mr. Simon, we appreciate talking to you, and make sure
But
everyone
wait,
tune
not
in.
to cut you off, right quick.
Uh,
Not to cut you off. You introduced me as Jermelle Simon, and it's Jermelle Simon Jones. And I just want you to nah. No, it is though. It's Jermelle Simon Jones.
I apologize.
Joking.
Listen,
Nah, all good.
man is married, okay? Gotta say his name correct. Thank you so much, Mr. Jermelle Simon Jones. We look forward to seeing you
Nah.
on the final season of the Upshaws, which will premiere on Netflix January 15th. Make sure you guys tune in.